Hey everybody, OCD Mikey HiFi guy here with a little something interesting to talk about. This was brought to my attention recently. This is something from a magazine, a print magazine from the HiFi media, okay? And it's pretty much top of the heap with a very well-known journalist and a very well-known magazine. And it is talking about, and it's called, How Could He Betray Us? Okay, and I'm going to go through this article because I think it's a good piece for discussion when we're talking about let's not eat the spoon-fed pablum. Let's question what the media is giving us. And I'll tell you real quick what this piece is on so you know where we're coming from while we're reading through this. This is a high-up audio journalist who writes for a high-up magazine, who is defending the magazine, trying to prove that they have no allegiance to the manufacturers that advertise with them and the manufacturers that give them product to keep. I find that very questionable, okay? And for the purpose of discussion, we're going to go through this and kind of figure out where this guy is coming from. Let's listen to him and let's take him at his word and let's see what he's saying and let's dig a little deeper into what he's saying, shall we? Okay, so here it goes with the first paragraph. A few months ago, okay, and this is a reviewer and an editor. I believe he's editor. If he's not, he's high up. Talking about his discussion with manufacturers regarding the magazine doing reviews, okay, for those manufacturers. A few months ago, I was speaking on the phone with a manufacturer who was pitching me on the idea of the magazine reviewing the manufacturer's ambitious new product. Okay, so here's a magazine guy and a manufacturer with a new product, and he's coming to the magazine and he's asking for a review. That's what he's saying here. After learning about the product during the call, it was obvious that Jonathan Vallon, who is another writer, was the ideal reviewer. Jonathan has extensive experience, blah, blah, blah. Writing ability style would be good. Okay. So he recommends Vallon for this manufacturer. When the manufacturer hears Vallon's name, the manufacturer balked because he knows Vallon is beheld to another brand in the same category. The manufacturer right here says, assume that Jonathan had some sort of allegiance to the other manufacturer. In the manufacturer's mind, his product simply couldn't get a fair shake. Okay. In fact, the manufacturer explicitly said he believed that even if the product was better than Jonathan's reference, Jonathan would never say so out of loyalty to the other manufacturer. Okay, so this is pretty hardcore. This means that there's a manufacturer that is pitching a magazine, and he is not only does he not think that he's going to get a fair shake because the reviewer has a competing product that is his reference, but he thinks that even if it was better, he doubts the honesty of the reviewer. He thinks that the reviewer has some sort of an interest in being dishonest to his own product, whether that's money that he's getting paid, whether it's free product, whatever the speculation is that this manufacturer that's trying to get a review has. He's speculating. He doesn't trust that Vallon's going to give him a fair shake. Here he tried to assure him it wasn't the case, but he couldn't convince the manufacturer, who was sure the deck was stacked against him. This means he couldn't even convince him. That's how much he understands the relationship between a good review and these manufacturers and the magazines. The books are cooked is what the allegations are, right? And we're questioning how can these magazines give a new manufacturer a fair shake when there's somebody that's a big money company that's been paying these guys for 20 years. How are you even going to get a nudge or a nose in the door with these guys? And it's a very valid concern, I believe. I suggested another reviewer, but I got the same response. So what he's saying is the manufacturer said the reviewer's previous praise. So the manufacturer doesn't trust the magazine at all. He didn't trust the two. Now the manufacturer's new product remains unreviewed. Okay, so this sounds pretty odd. This whole if a manufacturer didn't trust the magazine, then why would he come to the magazine to get a review? Okay? This whole thing already smells fishy. Again, if somebody didn't trust the magazine, why would they come to the magazine and then decline the review if he offers them 2 reviewers? What they're trying to say here is that the manufacturer didn't trust those 2 guys that work for that magazine. It sounds weird to me right off the cuff. Okay? But he's willing to say that there's a manufacturer out there that doesn't trust the honesty of the magazine, at least of 2 reviewers from the magazine. Okay? That's pretty heavy. He couldn't even convince him. As a bigwig, he couldn't even convince this guy that they're honest. Okay? That says a lot. He could not, to the point where the product is unreviewed. That's how hardcore the manufacturer does not trust the magazine. That's pretty bad. In the 3rd paragraph here, fast forward a few months, I was speaking to the principal of high-end company A, who told me about a comment made to him by a longtime employee. The guy who's writing this had recently reviewed a product by company A, followed by another review of a competing product by company B. I decided to keep on extended loan the product from company B as my reference and return the review. Okay, let's go back here. Hold on. Start everything over again. I decided to keep on extended loan. Okay, what the hell does that mean? Since when do you get to decide as a reviewer to keep something on extended loan? What kind of entitlement is that? Okay, there's something wrong with this whole sentence right here. I decided to keep on extended loan the product from company B as my reference. Okay, so this is throwing a red flag. This means that reviewers can decide to keep on extended loan products from whatever company that sends it to them as their reference. Okay, i.e. free merchandise. And this stuff is expensive. Okay? And then return the review sample to company A because he didn't like it as much. When the employee of company A learned of this development, he said to the principal of company A with a mixture of shock, total journalism, with a mixture of shock, anger, and outrage. How could he betray us like that? I can just see the total skit right now. I want to do a Saturday Night Live skit for this. With a mixture of shock, and this is I'm like reading a script. With a mixture of shock, anger, and outrage. How could he betray us like that? Oh my God. Okay, so company A expected something by sending the merchandise in. Okay, this shows us that there is an expectation. If this guy feels betrayed, okay, this means either there's history of him liking these guys. There's got to be, because if there's a betrayal, there's something that's existing. You don't just send it to somebody you don't know. You can't, if you're trying something for the first time, there can be no betrayal because you don't have any history. So this is kind of a loaded thing. And again, speculation on my part, but this shows that manufacturers expect something, okay? I wonder why. Maybe they've been trained to expect something, okay? And let's remember this, I decided to keep on extended loan, okay? That is a key sentence here, okay? Another example, he was speaking with a manufacturer about a company's new product intro, a product perfectly suited to my interest and playback system. I propose that I review the product. So he's saying right here, he's already got his sights on something that he wants for his play. It's particularly well suited. So what this sentences say here is when the reviewers notice something in the marketplace that they want, it tickles their fancy, shall we say. They will speak with the manufacturer about the upcoming product introduction. They know that they want it, so they will propose. I propose that I review the product. Okay? So this is how it works. Let's say I'm a reviewer. I want something. I'm going to propose that I review the product. Why am I going to propose that I review the product? Because I know if I like it, I can decide to keep it on extended loan. What a great deal. Okay? But the manufacturer hesitated. Of course he hesitated. He said that I would be a good choice. But now you're a blankety blank guy. Okay, now you're a married guy, is basically what he's saying. Naming the company whose product I had recently enthusiastically reviewed. Of course, man. Again, the manufacturer assumed that the previous positive review is tantamount to some loyalty to a brand that would preclude a potentially glowing review for the newer product. Okay, so he's saying right here that the manufacturer, on the manufacturing end, they realize that a glowing review is going to have some legs on it, okay? That means he knows that if the guy just gave something else a positive review, he's not going to, the manufacturer thinks he's not going to just jump ship and review his thing and change his mind about his next best thing, which makes sense. I mean, let's read on, because I'll expand on that. Finally, upon reading a less than stellar review I'd written, the product's manufacturer called me, explained in anguished voice, but I thought you were my friend. Okay, so what the guy who's writing this is talking about is he's talking about getting product from manufacturers. Okay, and then when they get the product from the manufacturers, they review it favorably because it's something they have their sights on, and it's something that they think is particularly well suited for their own personal gain and own personal system. In conversation, shall we say, with that manufacturer, they will propose a review because their intent is to keep it on extended review or an extended time should they decide. Okay, so of course manufacturers are gun shy. You know, here's a guy telling, I'll read a little bit more. The common thread between these examples is a fundamental misunderstanding of the role of the reviewer and the relationship between reviewer and manufacturer. I would beg to differ here. I would say the common thread between these examples is a fundamental understanding of the role of the reviewer and the relationship between the reviewer and the manufacturer. I think there is a fundamental understanding of how the money chain works, how the keep the on extended loan thing works. If you love me for as long as you'll love me before you kick me to the curb. Now, let me go a little further. To take the example of a manufacturer believing that reviewers have some loyalty to previously reviewed products. If that were the case, I'd still be listening to the first published review from 1989 as something from Name that I loved back then. If a product comes along that sounds better than what I had considered state-of-the-art, in an inevitable and ongoing process, by the way. That's the nature of the industry. This is huge right here. A huge divulging, okay? An inevitable and ongoing process is the nature of the industry. I completely disagree with that, okay? It is inevitable and ongoing process if you are a magazine that sells advertising. Absolutely, it is an ongoing process. If you are a real audiophile that doesn't get paid to review stuff, and they also get extended loan items, okay? If you're a regular guy that pays for his stuff, we want to get, it doesn't go on forever with us. We find our perfect little rig and we stick with it, okay? It's not inevitable that we keep chasing our tail. And so right here, this little snippet that he puts in parentheses is a testament that the industry titans consider it inevitable and ongoing process that you chase your tail. The nature of the industry is to keep changing things that sound better, quote unquote, sound better. He says he'll embrace the new product without reservation. That means he will drop something, kick it to the curb, and get the new, younger, prettier babe. Okay? The idea that him or any other reviewer would discover a fabulous product but downplay its quality or shade the opinions in deference to a competing manufacturer is laughable. Yeah, I agree. I think he's being honest there. They wouldn't downplay a new product's quality if it was good. They would just keep it and kick the old one to the curb. That's the point here. We rejoice in discovering great products. Of course you do, because you're going to keep them and bringing them to the attention of our readers. Of course. That's what you get paid for. Whoever the manufacturer might be, we have no dog in the fight except advertising income. Okay? That's a pretty strong dog. Okay? What all these manufacturers don't understand is our allegiance is to our readership. If you're not to their marketing plans. Okay? Wow, that's pretty sad. Okay? So you don't... What he's saying right here... Okay, so this is a message to the manufacturers. Okay, any of you manufacturers out there that want to advertise, what this magazine bigwig is telling you, that they don't give a shit about your marketing plans. Okay? I don't believe this sentence. Okay? That's me. What all these manufacturers don't understand, our allegiance is to our readership, not to their marketing plans. Okay, right. Okay then. The perceived reviewer loyalty to certain manufacturers simply doesn't exist. Well, if the reviewer has no loyalty to a certain manufacturer, how am I supposed to believe that he thinks it's good? He doesn't even have loyalty to anyone. So it doesn't exist. What he's telling us is if they feel like jumping in bed with another company, they do it immediately. They don't hesitate. Okay? So there is no loyalty in this whole charade. That's totally horrible. Of course, all reviewers have an affinity for certain brands that have a track record of creating great products that we happen to like, i.e. advertisers that have been around forever. But if a better product comes along, we don't hesitate to embrace it. The offended manufacturer's feelings are of no concern. Ho, ho, ho. Those words might as well be on fire. The offended manufacturer's feelings are of no concern. Wow. He's saying flat out, we flip you the bird, and we don't care about your feelings. I learned a long time ago not to allow personal associations or manufacturer expectations to cloud our mission of reporting what we hear. I don't believe that sentence either. Industry marches forward. TAS at the leading edge of reporting. I don't know that magazines are at the leading edge of reporting, honestly. I think they're beheld to powers that be on what's possible in reproduced music. As groundbreaking new products come along, old references will undoubtedly be supplanted. When they do, we'll continue to report on them without fear or favor. I think you're writing this whole article out of fear, or you wouldn't need to address it. This is something that is written because my guess is, and this could be true, maybe not. And actually, let's say it's not true, but it's a guess that they're losing readership. We all know that these are older guys, and the younger generation does not buy magazines. And people that write magazine articles really can't do videos. If you look at them and watch them, they're boring as all get out. And they have no skills for talking or interviewing, but they're really good writing stuff on paper. So this is written, in my opinion, out of fear. And this is extremely telling. They're making a plea for the readership. This means they're afraid of losing readership, in my opinion. He's telling the manufacturers in the same breath, we have no loyalty to you, which I don't believe, because look who's on the front page. You don't think that you don't think, I mean, if they have no loyalty to these brands, then that means they just flip-flop. There's no loyalty. If there was loyalty and you really, as reviewers, you really believed that a certain company was good, you would not, that was better than others, you would not flip-flop, okay? By flip-flopping, it's just because you need to sell new stuff. Products have a shelf life of a couple years, and then new products come up. The old products get petered out after a couple years, so the magazines need to keep rotating them. The guys that are writing about them and talking about them, if they stop rotating their gear, they'll have nothing to talk about. So they have to do it, and it's understood they have to do it. But it carries no weight for us. You guys get stuff on loan, extended loan for free, man. If you want to earn our respect as readers, buy it. Put your money where your mouth is, tough guy. Okay? Buy it like we do. We buy the product. Okay? We believe in products. We have loyalty to our brands. Maybe you guys don't have loyalty to your manufacturers, but we do. Okay? And we pay them for it. Why don't you guys pay and show us where your loyalties are? Because we want to know where your loyalties are. And you're telling us you've got no loyalties. This is horrible. I mean, it couldn't be worse. I mean, come on. Oh my God. So that's my take on this. For whatever it's worth, I just think we should question what we're being told and question the media, because this is the stuff that we get spoon-fed all the time. Here is a very well-known magazine and a well-known writer who's been around a long time trying to defend the fact that manufacturers don't trust them at all. They can't even convince the manufacturers to trust them. So this is a very telling article, and I think it's worthy of discussion. So go ahead, discuss below. Tell me what you guys think and what your feelings are on this. But I've got some opinions here. It's pretty interesting. It's an interesting piece. So thanks for joining. See